hopefully it doesn't crash trying to go there. I've had that happen a few times, and it would be unfortunate if that happened now, since the maintenance is going on. Just going to kind of revisit the subway station today. I have the side project on my alts plot that I've been working on the past couple of days, but I'm just going to stick to my own plot for today, or to finish off today's stream. For the most part, I haven't really done anything new or different on the exterior because I'm pretty happy with how it is. So we're just focusing on the interior of the bunker house now. And I've gotten a hold of a lot of new pieces, so not new, but I mean, I've gotten some more of the exile chairs, for example. So we'll be able to put those out and see how they'll work. One thing I do want to show is I did get my little anniversary cupcake, and I added it to my little candies tray here. I've shrunk it down considerably. I mean, it comes in like really huge, and you know, a giant cupcake is great. You know, I'm sure I can find a use for it at its normal size, but I wanted it small. So I took the liberty of specifically sizing it down past the normal small size, and hopefully that's not going to be an issue. So I don't think I've gotten any more lighting. Let me look. I keep getting sidetracked with everything that I fiddle around with, so I don't think I got any new ones. We might could. Oh yeah, I don't think I have any of the cage lights. I think that's what those are called. Yeah, I need to get myself a couple more of those. I'd write it down, but I probably forget it again anyway, so I'll just have to try and remember. But we do have a good number of the exile chairs now. I saw a couple on the auction house this morning, and I noticed they're like at like 2 plat for like 1, and I'm thinking either they've watched my stream and know that I'm on the lookout for them or something, because they have been going for, I think the most expensive has been about 10 gold, 20 gold, something like that. So it's like just going outrageous in price. But if they think I'm going to buy it at that price, they got another thing coming, because I am not going to touch something that expensive. While I would really love to get a hold of more chairs, I'm not like that desperate. So they'll just have to, someone else will have to fall for going for that price, because that's like, you know, while I can afford it, I'm not going to spend it. If I did that for everything, I wouldn't have the money I have. So anyway, so we'll just start laying in these chairs to kind of fill it out some more. Eventually, I will probably see about adding some things to the tables other than this little cup of tea. I thought about making like some salt and pepper shakers, some kind of little centerpiece for each one. But I'm not sure what exactly I'm going to use for that. I've used I think it's the skinny waisted barrels as salt and pepper shakers before. Just using a couple of them and shrinking them down. It kind of looks like that. But it just depends on where my decor count is and how I'm going with my crate. Because my crate, it's also, you know, pretty close to the limit. And I've already gone through my list 3 or 4 times now, weeding out the things that I feel like I can get rid of to make room for new things. But it's really coming down to a point where I'm reluctant to get rid of anything else. So in a way, I'm hitting my decor limit, even on the interior, because I just am unwilling to get rid of a lot of the unique or harder to find items. you know, if it's readily available either through me crafting it or from buying it off the housing vendor, then I don't have any problem with deleting a bunch of those to make room for other things. But some of the other stuff, that's a different story. Okay, so I almost have a full set for another table. So we're gonna let's do this one here. Um, oh, I know I quit sitting. Anyway, I hope everyone enjoyed the tours for today. It's unfortunate that I wasn't able to visit Rose's house. I will try to do that next week. I'll make sure that I log into their place and see that it's working. If it is, then I won't leave it until the stream happens. But I hope at least the places that we were able to visit, everyone found helpful or interesting or something. And if anyone that sees these videos have suggestions of other homes they would like to see, you're more than welcome to offer up your suggestions. My main criteria for homes that I tour are: one, they've not been showcased in a video before. I try to avoid that just because if it's already got a video out, then I don't see the point of making another one. Also, you know, I prefer homes that have something special to offer, be it a few pieces of custom made stuff or a full plot shebang like we just finished looking at. And of course, they need to be public. I simply because for those that, you know, could visit, I want them to, you know, feel welcome to do so. I know there are a lot of people that are unable to for one reason or another, either they're on the NA realms or just don't have the time in game. But if at all possible, I try to make it so that I only go to the public ones. Because I feel like those that have theirs set to private or to neighbors only, they have it set that way for a reason. If they wanted the public to see it, they would have it set to public. And I don't want them being bombarded with guest, like neighbor requests and things like that. So we'll just let them have their privacy. You know, if they choose to showcase their home themselves in a video and leave it private after the video, that's up to them. But for me, I want to keep it looking at only the public ones. Okay, so that's all the chairs I've got. So we still need 5 more to go. Eventually, I'm sure I will get my hands on them. But we'll just have to, fingers crossed that I come across them sooner than later. I do know I've got another pressure divider on hand. So I should be able to fill this, because the reason I needed it was I wanted to double it up so that there wasn't this huge gap here. There's still a gap on the other side, but on this side it's much greater, much more noticeable. So I wanted to be able to just kind of double it up to kind of give it some thickness so it wasn't so obvious. Now it's an extra piece of decor to do that, but it's worth it for me. Just gives it that more finished look instead of just looking like I kind of half did it. Okay, let's see. I'm still not sure I'm going to leave that there, but for now, it'll stay. I still keep forgetting to make some more of these, so I'm going to have to remember cage lights and exile lock chests. I need more of those. In fact, I should write down how many of these I need. Probably one. We'll just do 4 more. Let me write this down somewhere. 4 locked exiled. I tell people it's always good to have a notebook, but the problem is I have like one, two, three, four notebooks and post-its galore. I keep little bits of paper and notes, and my desk is a mess, really. It's a horror how cruddy it's gotten, cluttered, but I have notes everywhere, and the problem is I write notes for everything, and so they easily get buried, and that's why I forget. But it really is a good idea to have a notebook handy to write down things that way you don't have to go to town every 5 minutes because you realize you need to craft this or need to buy that. You can just do it all in one little lump. Um, Okay, I know I got some more pieces that I wanted to use, and yeah, I could just move that over. Why is that book sunk in there like that? And see, this looks empty because I did have the magnetic storage boxes there, and I ended up using them at the phones. Anyway, I still haven't gotten a hold of one of these. I've been trying. I keep getting every Technophage piece other than that, and I'm thinking that's because that's the one I want, and of course that's the one that I don't get. So let's see. I'm going to go upstairs first because I know there's some specific pieces I want to use there, and then any kind of like leftover bits I will, whoops, went the wrong way. We'll use down below because they're kind of similar in that both of them will have a lot of electronics. So I have to kind of pick and choose which ones go where, and I want some of the niftier stuff up here, I guess. Okay, so I know I've got some more doodads that have like electronic bits on them or pieces that I want to use. So I think that one probably go downstairs because I like the tubing on it. But yeah, the desk, to the desk. Now, the thing I have to consider is I can't really sandwich anything into these walls because then it'll start poking out on the other side. So I have to be watchful about where I put them. So I can sink them into this wall because, not seen there. But I also have to think about anything that's overlapping on this way, especially if I have it sized up considerably, will probably be sticking out down below. So what I will do is I will try it a couple of ways and see what it looks like below and whether or not I can kind of use that to my advantage downstairs. Or if I end up having to use something to cover those bits up. Anyway, got a bunch of guildies chit-chatting and I'm having trouble following their conversation because I don't want to like completely ignore them just because I'm online. But so like if I want to use this in such a way that I sink it in and I still have the keyboard here visible, but there's like a good portion of this panel visible, then more than likely the footing here is going to be visible below. So I kind of like how this kind of blends into this working here. I think I'm going to try and center that on this meeting here and make it look like it was designed that way. Now I've got 4 of these tables, but that doesn't mean I have to use all 4 or even all 4 in the same way. But it's good to have several extra of the same pieces in case you want to do something like this where it matches. And again, I'm just kind of eyeballing and seeing how that looks. So that's just extra controls to kind of give it a little more stuff to do. Okay, I'm going to take a quick look downstairs to see how that looks, what's going on, what's actually showing, where it's landing. Yeah, see here's the and that really doesn't bug me. It almost kind of looks like it's supposed to be there. So I could move this and put something in here. Like, what could I fit in there? I have absolutely no idea. Some kind of cylinders or pillars. There's so much to go through here. It's just... There's still a lot of things I could get rid of, like the cheese wedge and all that, but I save it till I absolutely have to, because I never know, I might want a cheese wedge for the diner area or something, and I don't want to have to just rebuy it all over again. Anywho, I'm thinking like some kind of like, you know, maybe something like this, but then I'd need 2 of them. But what's an eyeball doing down in here? So I don't know if that would work. So maybe, you know, maybe something like this. You know, if I use it, then that means I'll have to get myself another one. But I'm thinking upside down because I don't want additional stuff sticking up. And let's see, you can get this kind of straight. Someone's asking what I use to record or stream, so I'm having to tell them I use OBS for this purpose. So now I'm looking at the size of this, and you know, I don't want the space here being like too much bigger. And then sink it in to kind of match it with the edging that's already there. So see, just having those bits sticking out, it gave me a reason to put something else down here. And so now it looks like some more piping and stuff that's... And what I'll do is I'll have to get another one and, you know, include it in. And maybe I'll add some other bits of wires and pipes and things. Okay, so those 2 work really well. they're asking about if you can record with OBS. Anyway, I'm going to go back up. Now, it worked out nicely with the two, but I'm going to see if I can find another use for the other two, but maybe in a different way than having them set up like this. I'm going to see what other doodads they have on here. Anyway, let's see. If I went ahead and included them, additionally here, I think that would be too much. Because for one, I know down below it will be meshing in with the other bits down below that I don't want it to be. So I wonder what it would look like if I turned it upside down, and how those panels would look. Probably odd, I guess. We're gonna do it anyway, just to try something different. Because again, I just want a lot of different little controller doodads, things that's, I mean, this is the control room, so I want a lot of little bits that appear like it's, I don't know if that's gonna work right. I know that's sticking down below for sure, especially because of the size I have of that. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna have to maybe if I make it smaller and use it on the panel here somewhere. Or just have the top wire bit showing. I don't know, it's just hard to decide what you want where. We're discussing lore in the chat, I think, is what is going on. That's way out of my league, because I don't, while I read the quests and stuff when I go through it the first time, it usually doesn't stick with me. Got a bad memory anyway. I have trouble remembering my own birthday, let alone some lore piece from a game. But yeah, see, I think that's too hunky. It's almost too much. But maybe this is like parts of this. power source or something. And that's the receiving antenna and all that jazz. I don't know. I'm making it up as I go. I've said before, I'm not very mechanically inclined. I assumed these were like little bits that maybe something broke on it or carrying it or who knows what. It's really not bits. It's like, I think it's part of the bracketry of this sign. And when I pushed it down, it kept showing. And I just said, well, that's what that's going to be. Let's see. I know I've put in a lot of other stuff. I don't remember the categories they all fit in, so let's see. Weapons, maybe? Again, this is the problem with having a really crammed full crate. You know, when you first start out building, I have my Dominion. I was looking at his pot today. I just put the little Chua, the cozy one, up for him just to have something to sit in. But I was looking at his crate, he's got like 4 things in it. And it's like, wow, that's so easy to kind of scan through because there isn't much in there. And this one, there's like tons. It's like, maybe tools and hardware. Okay, well, I got a generator I can stick in here somewhere. Mayhaps. Don't really want to crowd this area because it's where you come in. And I'm figuring I'm going to have to use this one as another poster board of some sort, or find really thin things that I can use, as you just can't use these 2 walls to really hide anything because they're not very thick. Maybe I can put the generator here as part of this contraption. I don't know how far I can sink it in though, because that's another thing. And the outside, if you have something built pretty thick and you want to hide it, pretty much free to go as deep or whatever as you want, even on the larger sizes. But when it comes to the interior, you usually have a barrier like that it just doesn't allow you to put it in any further. So that is a thing you have to consider as well. No, don't think that's going to work. A medical station, but don't really have anything that suits that just yet. Pile of bricks. Engine. That would probably be more downstairs, I think. See if you can find a place for that. Since we already have these little doohickeys, I probably could use some more of that in this area. I have that here, I don't know for though. Wow, that's huge. Again, whatever I stick in here, I'm going to have to be careful that it's sticking upstairs. So more than likely, if I use it, I'll have to turn it specifically this way so that the pipe is in the wall. Because I've run into that trouble before where I'll be working on something and I'll think, wow, this looks really cool. And then later I'll visit like an adjacent room of some sort and find out that I've like totally messed it up because I have the bits sticking where they shouldn't be. And then when I go to fix it, then that changes how it looks in the other room. And it's just all over again. Just going nuts with the sizing here. I'm sure it's not going to work upstairs, but just look how that feels. or how I might want to use it. Another thing, if you hit the limit of where you can push it, it often won't let you resize it till you adjust it in a certain way. Just kind of straighten it up before I move it so that it moves a little straighter. Again, I have to pay attention to how I'm putting this, because if I use it over here somewhere, I also have to be aware that it could interfere with the staircase. There's lots of little things that you have to keep in mind when you're messing around with this stuff. Don't know if I like that. I don't want it to feel like I've just thrown a bunch of pieces in, which basically is all I've done, sort of. I'm trying to kind of blend them together, but I don't have a good idea of how I want the room set up. So it's hard for me to figure out, well, what's this supposed to be and what's that supposed to be. Like this, I put this in here so that it can look like it's guarding the entranceway of the stairway on the other side, but then we've got this showing, so then I got to think, well, what is this? So I'm pretending it's like some kind of a light source, or not light source, power source of some sort, and it's powering this generator here. That's why I've got the cables connecting the two. But like, I have no idea what this is supposed to be. It's just got some nice flashy bits on it, and I wanted to use it, and but I have no like specific idea of what it's supposed to be for. And I'm sure that's not the right way to go about that kind of thing. Just thinking about what exactly would be down here. Let's see. Now, do I want some divisions as far as like maybe some of the workers like sleep down here? Do I want a place with some cots or something? Just a lot of hit and miss for me, figuring out what to put in. Because like I said, it's part of the reason why I really prefer researching and figuring out, okay, what's my goal, what kind of theme it's going to have. I mean, I have a general idea that this is the maintenance room, but what does that exactly mean? I don't have a clear vision of that. So that's why I'm like just throwing in pieces and going, does that work? No. Does that work? No. Does that work? No. And it's really not a good way to go about it, because then you are continually trying to justify what you put in, and it may or may not work like you expect. Let's see. Don't think I have another sparking wire. I think I just have the one, and I'm already using it. So it might be something I want to get a hold of in addition. So I'd like to have something, some kind of light here or something. I don't know what. Looks like it's missing something, but I like how it connects, and if I can enlarge it and get it to kind of connect with that one, it'd be even better. And then I could add some additional wires and connect all of these together, just to kind of help tie them in so that they look purposeful, even if they aren't. Luckily, I am able to sink this down pretty good, even at the size that it's at. That's helpful. So let's put that at 165 maybe. So there we got almost by 170. Almost connected. Now it looks like I hit my limit on as far as how far I can sink it in. Hopefully this is just enough. Looks like just about there. Yeah. Now they're connected. Kind of makes me happier. I'm looking to see where that antenna ended up. It might be actually sticking into the other thing. Can't tell. So dark. I think it's alright though. Anyway, whoops, I turned off my generator. So let's see, I think we're going to split this off a bit. And not exactly sure how I'm going to do that. Because again, I have to keep in mind that there are things on the other side that I don't want poking through, so I'm going to have to see if there's anything I can use that I already have that would work all right. Let's start at the bottom. Probably get away with using these, but then will the white be like super out there? I mean, I haven't used white in anything else. We're gonna see how it looks. Just because I have a lot of them and I'm kind of reluctant to get rid of them, and see if I can just find a way to use them and not have it look too strange. And the idea is, I'm thinking probably up to this point, we'll have it like their quarters, and then this area will be more like engine, the inner working bits. So I need a post that's fairly tall that spans the entire area here. And because it's kind of oddly shaped, I'm going to have to use several of them. But I'm not wanting to close it completely off. I'm just kind of wanting to give an impression of a division. Of course, I'll be double checking before I continue on whether or not it's sticking up anywhere. I'm just checking where if it's meshing just directly with the ceiling there. So I'll double check and make sure it's not showing up outside. And yes, it is right here. Is that going to be a problem? I think I can live with that. I will give it a try, and if it doesn't turn out the way I want, then, you know, only time that I've lost in giving it a shot. I've got quite a few of these. I think I'll have plenty to do what I'm wanting to do. I'm just going to drop a handful out here. And I'm going to go ahead and start from this side as well. Because, you know, I kind of want to be even here. Don't want to have like 4 posts over here and only 2 on this side. I want to keep even Steven. And just keep layering them on until I get to a point where I feel like it's not so narrow that I can't get through it, but narrow enough that it gives that impression of an entranceway. Don't really want to put a door here. I may fashion something that's just kind of open and looks like it might be a door, but I don't want to actually have a door. There's already plenty of functioning stuff that I don't want to have a bunch of stuff, a lot of activate this buttons popping up everywhere. Someone's asking about, I do a guild event thing every Wednesday. I do a where is Carrot kind of thing, and it's like a little, I mocked up a postcard image, and each week I put up a postcard and I say, where am I? And it's a little postcard of an image of some place in the world of WildStar. And I give like little clues in the write-up on the postcard. As far as kind of giving them hints as to the area, and then it's up to them to try to find the same area and take a screenshot of themselves in the same spot that I am. And it's just something I do every week for them. And one of them's asking me if I'm going to do that during maintenance, and I'm telling him no, it wouldn't be fair to do that. And he's currently logged in and saying, you know, are you going to post it now so that I can give a try for hunting it? And I'm telling him, well, it really wouldn't be fair for those that aren't currently logged in, because at the moment, since we're under maintenance, there's no way to get in if you aren't already here. So I'm telling him I'll leave a note in the guild forum and let them know that I'll be posting it tomorrow. That way everybody has a fair shot. And I change the time of days that I post it. Sometimes it's in the morning, sometimes it's in the evening, just to kind of give a fair, well, as fair as I can make it, opportunity for anybody at different playing times to have a chance. But yeah, I'm kind of like, I like giving them different things to work on. So it's not always the same stuff all the time. I also do uh, a caption this kind of thing. I'll find oddball screenshots with NPCs or players doing odd things, and maybe they're posed funny or whatever, and I'll post it up every now and then and say, give this a caption, come up with some pretty funny stuff. And some of the things that I do for my guild are for prizes and others aren't. The caption this is mostly just for fun, for goofing. Extra incentive for people to come visit the forums. Um, um, but other ones like the where is carrot? Uh, Basically, they get like a small amount of gold each week for whoever gets it first, and then their name goes into a pot. And at the end of the year, assuming everybody's going to be around here at the end of the year, when I figure we'll probably have another little get together for the guild. That we'd have like a little drawing, and those people that have found where I've been over the weeks, every time they find me, they get their name in the pot, and so at the end of the year, I'll have a little drawing, and they'll win a special prize. I don't know what that prize is going to be yet. I'm not even going to really mention the ideas that I have in my mind because I know some of my guildies watch these streams. Um, but it's going to be something hopefully that will be worth it. Now, it's just a little extra incentive for them to participate. But none of my challenges or anything are required by far. It's not. Um, it's just little extra things that I enjoy doing for the guild. Okay, so I've got 4 posts on each side, and since I still have 4 to go, I think I'm going to see about popping it off here a little bit. Just to kind of, narrow down the doorway just a bit, not a whole lot. And, I'm going to be paying attention to how it looks. It kind of warped. The object positioning. How it looks this way, I'm probably not going to be able to have it as thick as the others because it's just marked funny. Or maybe I turn it a little net bug trying to fly in my face. Try this, see if it looks okay. It looks like it's going to have to be, oops, size down just a bit. Ugh, I keep hitting the wrong keys. Yeah. We're just kind of getting it where it's not showing through on the walls part. It's proving to be a little trickier because it's pretty thick on the one end. Getting there. slowly. I may end up using all four because it's going to be so narrow there. Okay, I think that puts it there. Okay. There's that. I'm gonna assume that it's okay up top because even though these are pretty small, I think there's still a good amount of thickness that it should cover up any other little bits. But I will check it out later. Um, I'm okay with it being kind of crooked, I think. I could kind of fix it just a little bit and do it like that. Whoops. It certainly doesn't like moving with the world. It's got to be done. The reason I need to move it down is I'm pretty sure it's probably sticking up to the top here a little bit. And then we'll just copy that and paste it and move it down. Do the same. And then I'll check for collision to make sure I didn't make it too short. Because you definitely want to make it so that everybody can pass through. And then, I don't know, maybe, I think I have room for one more. These. Really coming close to the 2,000 mark again. I'm hesitant to buy new stuff because I know that's going to mean I've got to delete some more things. Just put a little gate door thingy. Nothing fancy, and you know it's going to be open. It's not a functional door, but and then of course I'll have to play around with making sure I can still get in and out. Probably too far. Let's see. Might be just a touch too big. Looks a little better. Then just kind of push it in so that the brackets look like it's part of the door here. And then not quite the right width, is it? Maybe we'll enlarge it a little bit and just sink it into the ground and hope that it doesn't bug me that the bottom of the grate is sunk in. I guess what would be better is to size it this way. Close it first, size it up. Make it square, I guess. Be good. I saw someone on the forums asking again for a way for us to be able to resize an object just at its width or just at its height, you know, to just like be able to stretch it. And while that sounds good in principle, I think it would be kind of difficult to program. Okay, so now we need to see how wide we need to make this. I'm going to start out kind of small and see if I can still get in and out. The jumpiness of my camera, that's just to do with my camera. It's not the character itself. But I am checking to make sure she's not like floating off the ground. I think I'll go ahead and open it a little bit more just to make it a little easier to ensure that everybody can get in and everything. So that kind of segregates the mechanical bits from possibly their dorm area. So what I'm going to have to do is move this stuff down, I think, or at least down to this end here. So what I'll do is I'll link these bits, and hopefully there's not a lot of curvature on the wall that will cause some of these to disappear while the others fine. Yeah, see how that appears now? May have to adjust that a bit. So like this, I'll link those now. Turn it just a little bit just to hide that. Because what this is actually a full chain link fence bit section or segment or whatever you want to call it. It's that. But I only wanted the little panel there, so I've sunk it in there, and see now that one's showing, but I'll figure out something else to stick. Okay, so we have that. We could put let me check out electronics real quick to see if there's anything I could use. A lot of different little things. Let me try this. Because more and more I really need to try and incorporate as many of the items I currently already have to reduce the need to buy new stuff. And while that sounds easy to do, it's really not. A lot of the things I have just don't fit this particular theme, and so it's kind of a tricky thing to do. Just trying to make something that looks like it's maybe the controller for the door or some kind of security or something. But I'm also, thinking, well, it's going to have something sticking out back here, so what does that do? But maybe I can get away with it. I don't know.